he-goat. That's what the Greeks called them, the Huascanos, because of their habit of sacrificing goats to their gods. The Pyrenees are dotted with sacred sites. This is where the Basque people lived. Caves, springs, wells, valleys, mountain peaks. The mountains and the valleys were thought to be the abodes of divinities and demons. You see, when Cain and his tribe were forced from Canaan, they went into the hills, into the mountains, lived inside the mountains. Tubal Cain found lava, molten lava, in the mountains, and invented blacksmithing, fashioning weapons out of metal, which were no match. The wood, was no match for the metal weapons of this warring tribe that would swoop down and conquer. The Canaanite tribe actually terrorized the people in the valleys while living in the mountains. And this same scenario, history repeating itself in the Pyrenees. The mountains and the valleys are thought to be the abodes of divinities and demons. We even still have that same thought permeating our society today. It'll be coming on a commercial where a guy will climb up to the very top of the mountain. At the very top of the mountain is this bearded guy. And they ask the question, what is life? And there it is, again there. Cain living in the mountains, the god, with all the answers. Yes, the mountains and the valleys were thought to be the homes of gods and demons. The earth was believed to contain beautiful landscapes and green valleys hidden to mortals. The most famous of all these sites is probably a plain named Aquilar in the province of Navarra. The name comes from Aker, he-goat, and lar, meaning pasture. For hundreds of years, this place was connected to witchcraft, and it had been probably chosen as the place where to celebrate ancient rituals and sacrifices. The church has eradicated any information related to the pagan religion of the Basques, and has even denied the existence of these rituals. But the Greek historian Strabo wrote this: beyond doubt that sacrificing goats was a ritual crucial in the religious beliefs of the Huascanos. The Huascanos were what the Greeks called the Basque people, descendants of the Atlanteans. In 1609, a controller sent from Bordeaux to check the state of the Christian church out in the Basque territory under French rule reported that witches' Sabbath were often held in the churches themselves instead, with the approval, if not even the participation, of the local priest. The French controller was shocked to see how sympathetic the people, the local Basque priests, were toward the old pagan religion. The majority of the population still practiced a religion which was a mixture of paganism and Christianity. These types of reports provoked strong reactions in France and in Spain, which led to the systematic destruction of the Basque religion and culture. In this way, the Roman Catholic Church was actually able to reach the goal that the Romans and the Arabs, the Muslims, couldn't complete, which was full control over the Basque people. So you see what I mean. The ancient Atlanteans are half men, half gods, and are hard to keep down. Altogether, 2,000 people were first accused of witchcraft and then executed in the Basque region. Something like 50,000 people witnessed the trials and executions, which were held in huge public spaces big enough to accommodate the huge audiences for the trials and the executions. Pope Gregory IX instituted a papal inquisition in 1231 against heresy. In 1478, Pope Sixtus IV authorized the Spanish Inquisition to fight Jewish and Muslim religions. And in 1483, he nominated the person who would organize the Inquisition of all the regions of Spain. This was the great Inquisitor Thomas de Torquemada. The hunting season was declared against women, especially those that gathered herbs, obstetricians, widows, spinsters. It's been estimated that 9 million people, mostly women, were burned or hanged in Europe at that time. The solar god, which is the male, versus the moon goddess, which is the female, was clearly on display here. The brotherhood of the snake, the moon cult, and the sun cult, causing the chaos and the fear. History, again repeating itself. It appears that Franciscans participated in these trials against witchcraft by helping with the gathering and the building up of proofs for the court cases. They were particularly busy spying potential witnesses and denouncing them to the authorities. They tortured women, getting false confessions from them. At Logrono, many people were tortured until they admitted anything they were ordered to say by the monks. It's said that one of the tortured women, Mariquita da Autori, killed herself by throwing herself in the river near her house after she implicated many innocent people while being tortured. When the Inquisition was established in 1231, it was Dominicans, an order of the friars founded by St. Dominic, who were actually in charge of the organization and the killing of these heretics. They were using the church. The Illuminati were using the church as a terrorist attack on the population, killing many, calling them witches. Whether they were or not, it didn't matter. The more that died, the more fear was created, the more dominance the religion would have. The Inquisition and the Dominicans concentrated themselves on the Alps of northern Italy. The use of torture was even officially authorized by Pope Innocent IV in 1252. Actually authorized. George W. Bush authorized the use of torture just a couple of years ago. The torturing of Taliban, Al-Qaeda, to get answers, to supposedly save American lives. Nothing new under the sun. Simply history repeating itself. The Jesuits, many of whom were Basques, like their founder Ignatius de Loyola, don't seem to have taken part in this witch hunt. In fact, they actually acted as mediators and translators with the local population. It was the Basque Jesuits who defended their ancient language that was, together with the Basque culture, one of the objectives of the Inquisition, as it was later with the Spanish dictator Generalissimo Francisco Franco from 1930 onwards in Spain. I was in Spain, living in Spain under Generalissimo Francisco Franco. It wasn't pretty. According to the Basques, there is a duality of being and of worlds. On the one side of the natural world, Brezco they called it. On the other, the supernatural one, Idico. To operate in the first side, the natural world, a person must use natural instruments. A person enters the second side, the supernatural, through magic. The magical means are many, but they are all based on the adure, or magical virtue that links things with their representations. Curses or biara are transmitted thanks to adur, to the person or thing which is targeted. A symbolic action towards an image emits an adur that operates at a distance. Names are sound images of things. The Basque people have a popular saying. Here's how it goes. Azina duen, Gutia omenda. Translated? It means simply, all that has a name exists. So if there's a word, whatever it's describing exists. The main Basque gods are Ortiz, has a name, therefore exists. Also called Guski, the sun god, and Largia, or Larjui, the moon goddess, and Meri, the earth goddess, and Shugar, the god both of the earth and the sky. Mari, the earth goddess, Shugar, the god of the sky. Ortizi, also called Ost or Guski, is the god of the sun, of the sky, and of thunder, and is often compared to Jupiter, Zeus, and Thor, which are other names used for Satan, by the way. Mali was a goddess, a Lamia, of the Basque. Legends connect her to the weather. See, when she and her husband traveled together, Shugar and Mary went out together out of their cave, hail would fall, and all her departures from her home, which were many caves in the Pyrenees Mountains, would be accompanied by storms or droughts. Whichever cave she happened to be living in at different times would determine the dry or the wet weather. Wet when she was in Ambato, for instance, dry when she was elsewhere. More on Marie, the Basque goddess, when I return on A View from Space. It's Talk Radio. This is AM 640.